Incredible morning. Hello, everyone. Incredible morning. How are you guys doing? It is a Monday, April 10th. And this post is going bananas over on Facebook. As you can see, it was actually posted on April 8th, but it is now making its rounds around Facebook and being shared in some of every creative and like crafts type group, business group, everyone within our industry is pretty much discussing. Well, I'm not gonna say everyone because you're probably looking at this like I have not seen this. Whoa, what the heck is on my screen? But a lot of people are talking about it. It has gone viral. It has quite a bit of shares, and it made its way to my Facebook group where someone posted and said, "Hey, what are your thoughts on this?" And I think it's a really great talking point. And we're going to break some things down. And hopefully this will be kind of an eye opener for creative business owners. If you guys decide to share this with those who are not in the business, just so that they are aware. Because for me, when I'm looking at it, I see two sides, like based off of some of the comments, right? So I'm like, I see the post, I see it shared, I'm like, it keeps coming up in my timeline. But y'all know me, as the professor, I tend to look at things a little bit differently. With a different set of eyes. And I don't just kind of look at the post. Like I was reading comments as it relates to this post and just going on, like looking at the comments on the shared post and what people are writing under those particular posts, as well as what people wrote under the original post. And some of the things kind of stood out to me as far as where the blame went when it came to this. So okay, wait, I gotta edit my audience. So I just said, you know what, let's talk about it. So I am sharing this out real quick. If you guys can just bear with me. And as you're coming in, just drop a hey, how you doing? Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you have seen this post either in a group or if you, well, I'm pretty sure most, like, if you're not friends with her, you probably didn't see like the actual post, but let me know if you guys have seen this floating around in groups, or if you are friends with others on, social media who are within the creative space, if they have posted it and you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and write in the comments, first time seeing this, while I go and share, or at least attempt to share. I'm trying to also save this stole file because I have to try and do the I have to try and put this on my website today. All right. Let's see. Give me 1 second, y'all. All right, there we go. All right. Hello, everyone. Sorry, I had to take a call. Had to put my phone on do not disturb. So quite a few guys have come into the room now. So I'm going to pose the same question that I did at the beginning of this. I need you to focus. Okay, there we go. Let me know in the comments if that what the post that you saw on the thumbnail and on the opening banner, if that was your first time seeing that particular post, because I have seen it going around, whether it's from other creatives and craft groups. It finally made its way to where someone shared it and posted it in one of my groups and asked, what was everyone's thoughts on it, and I think she tagged me in it too. But I've also seen it on the flip side to where it's just gone viral to where people were commenting saying, see, this is why I don't do this. I don't support this type of business. Oh, I would never, I'd be ready to fight. There's a lot of, shared, like the way this has been shared, like it's the the caption that people put with it once they're sharing it has been very interesting. And since it made its way to my group, I wanted to kind of go ahead and dive into this and talk about it from a couple different perspectives. So I do want to say that I know last time I did this, someone's like, oh, I know we are not going to be on here bashing someone's work, blah, 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 blah. If anyone knows, for me, I'm never bashing. I will go and go through an educational moment when it comes to things like this, but it's never to bash. It's always to help and make people aware of the things that I'm going to ask that you guys be really honest in this, right? And you have to be completely honest with yourself. If you want to be better in this business and being an entrepreneur within this creative space and be able to sell these items to others, you are going to have to also be honest with yourself where you are at in your creative journey and whether or not you're ready to be in a position to actually monetize the things that you create. So that is the perspective that I'm going to come at this at, also from a design. So there's going to be a lot within this. Hopefully we can get this done in less than an hour. That is the goal, is to get this done in less than an hour. All right. So I am Shakia, the professor. Oh, look. And speaking of which, I have on my jacket that I made to go to Impressions. So Shakia, the professor of HS Ink 365. We are the home of the honestly speaking brand of products. We carry Sublimation ink, Sublimation paper, the best Sublimation paper, might I add. If I do say so myself, it is actually quite amazing, the paper that we sell over on our website. If you don't know, it allows you to sublimate as low as 365 degrees, as fast as 30 seconds on pretty much every single substrate, except like the ones that, you really have to heat up, like ceramic, like for mugs or slates and things like that. But for MDF, metal, fabrics, all those things, 365, 30 seconds. No cover sheet is required. So you're going to eliminate a lot of steps when using our sublimation paper. So definitely go check that out. shop.hsink365.com. Right. And then, of course, 365 Creative Academy, where I help you to unlock your creativity. There are some amazing classes where this doesn't have to be you in the future when it comes to recreating designs. I am one where I'll say draw inspiration from the things that are out there, and not that you have to use the same exact fonts, but we do want to try and be, similar in how they are set up. If you're drawing inspiration, you're going to try and recreate something. Just trying to make it where it looks like, not say looks like, but it's comparable to the original inspiration if you're doing it kind of verbatim, because I take inspiration from things and I'll pull like a little bit from here, a little bit from there, a little bit from this one, a sprinkle from over here, and kind of combine them. So sometimes I'll have a lot of inspiration, but with something like this, it was someone asking, hey, are you able to create this? And then someone saying, okay, hey, yeah, I can, right? So there's a lot. There's so many talking points within this post or then like this situation, it's crazy. But if you don't want this to be you, head on over to our website and then look at our 365 Creative Academy. I am in the process of trying to put all the classes directly on the 365 Creative Academy website so you can go over there and just purchase. But for now, like they are on shop.hsink365. Just go to that particular collection and you will be able to enroll in classes from there as well. And then you'll receive an email or they'll just show up on your dashboard over on our Academy site. So definitely check that out. We also still have our platforms, Silhouettes Anonymous. That is my online platform where I teach you guys Silhouette Studio. And of course, Honestly Speaking, where I do different demos and have different discussions. That's kind of where this one is. Although I did share this one to Silhouettes Anonymous's YouTube because it does have a design aspect to it in that you could create this in, like recreate this in Silhouette Studio. So we're going to break down the design aspect of it as well. All right. So let's see who is in the room. Incredible morning. Hello. How are you guys doing? Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. This is my first time seeing this. Okay, from Baton Rouge, first time seeing this. Good morning. I have not seen, but I haven't been online a lot. Okay, first time seeing this. Oh, the shirt on the right is supposed to look like the left. First time seeing this. I've seen it in several business and crafting groups, and I'm the one who shared it in your group. First, good morning, Professor and Chad. I'm at work listening. Incredible. Let's see. Incredible morning. First time seeing this. Good morning. Incredible morning. Thank you for watching, from joining from Texas, and for commenting. Make sure you guys also give this video a thumbs up and a like. Now, quite a few of you guys watching. I should see the reciprocation of likes on this video. Okay. So definitely go ahead and hit the thumbs up, hit the heart button. Also even hit the share button. Okay. So someone else says, this is my first time seeing this. All right. So let's kind of address that right quick. Right. I'm pretty sure there's others. Some of you guys, maybe you aren't able to type in whether or not you've seen it or not. But a lot of people saying this is their first time seeing it, right? With the use of social media, when things kind of happen, or let's say like, you might get a bad review of something, or someone may post something what the heck is going on? Okay, there we go. According to some of the comments, some people did find the person's page, the creator's page, and they said they were going through, like, I guess some of her other items and shirts and things like that. And it was like, well, I mean, she has some good work, and some of it's like, hey, you should have known better. Because hello, she's posted stuff that looks like this, right? So I'm pretty sure, some people were able to find them. But a lot of you guys, is your first time seeing it. And one of the things that I hear from my students, or I see in groups, is they are afraid to kind of like put themselves out there. They are afraid of bad reviews. They think that a negative or unfavorable review by one of their customers is going to be completely detrimental to their business. And I have said this time and time again, it can go out there, even if it goes viral, there's always going to be an audience of people who have never seen the negative, like this negative post or this thing that could be bad for some people, right? It just depends on, I guess you may say, like how big it gets. What were you a big name to begin with? Like, is it something where it's going to transcend like just cancel culture, like altogether? Like that normally happens when, it's something religious based, if it's something based off of someone's gender or sexual preference, if it's a race thing, people, a lot of times it causes this cancel culture, but so many of them bounce back from it. And you have some who are never privy to this negative, I guess you can say, negative publicity, right? So that's the first thing, because there are people who are saying, this is my first time seeing this. I want you guys to be encouraged, and it's okay. it can be kind of embarrassing. It can be something that can potentially make you like want to shut down if it is where something like a customer posts a negative review and it's something that goes, semi-viral, and then people are like looking for your business page, people are looking you up and they are commenting. It can be overwhelming. If you've never experienced that, I hope that you never have to, but just know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. It's not the end of your business to have one post go viral in a negative way. All right. Because like I said, there's tons of people and there's so many others that you can reach that will never ever probably see it. So don't stress over it. That's the first thing about this is I'm pretty sure some of you guys who have seen it probably saw that and said, man, see, that's just why I don't want to kind of do stuff on social media. I'm afraid to put myself out there. I don't want this to happen to me. Whether you are honest with yourself and post that here, whether it's on the live or on the replay, on, how this made you feel looking at it, and made you apprehensive about putting yourself out there, just know that it will be okay. You just have to redeem yourself and just take it as a learning lesson to say, hey, maybe I'm not ready to go and make this a business where I really am saying, hey, pay me for this. I'm presenting myself as a professional and I'm able to do this. And you'll learn it is actually more beneficial to go and say, hey, this is something that I want to get into. And you are taking on these, I guess, quote unquote orders, or taking on these practice assignments, or making these like your guinea pig projects where it's like, okay, it's just, as long as you can pay for the vinyl, the shirt, or if it's like the shirt and the prints, like if it's a DTF print or whatever, but just being honest with your customer base in that this is something that is new for me. You're going to basically be donating your time and making it a learning experience, because if you've never gone and tried to layer this many colors of vinyl, it can be overwhelming. If you don't understand how the original was made and you're just going off of, hey, well, I got this cutter, all I know is HTV, I'm just going to give this a go. But when you're looking at that, I mean, you have eggs that have a lot of design and detail to it. So that may not have been, vinyl. You want to, like I said, just be honest with your skills and capabilities. And it's okay to say, I would like to be able to try this. And you may not want to just utilize all of your resources and your money to buy the shirts and things like that. And you're asking them to, hey, let me make these designs for, I want to try this out and just cover the cost. And you're going to basically donate your labor, because then you'll be in a situation like this. And then there comes a lesson in the business side of it, in that the person did not want to give a refund. For one, well, man, I don't even know where to start at. Like, there are so many darn talking points to this. It's ridiculous. Okay, let's go. Let's go back to the beginning. Okay. How many of you, let's be honest, right, have agreed to, so I'm not going to say have taken an order, because it may have been that it was the situation I talked about, like, okay, you get the supplies and I'll do it. But how many of you have agreed to do something for someone outside of your household, outside of you gifting it to someone, but you have agreed to fulfill a request for a particular project, a particular design or order, and it was your first time like designing it that way, recreating it, and presenting it to them? How many of you have done that, to where you have agreed to do something knowing that this is my first time doing it, and it wasn't for you, it was for someone else? It is pouring down raining. Okay, so we only got one person that that's ever happened to, right? So then let me ask this. For some of you who have been in this for a while, right? How many of you look back, or do you even have pictures of things when you first started, and you can look back at that and see your progression and look back at some of your first designs, first projects, first shirts, first tumblers, and say to yourself, what in the was I thinking? How many of you can look back at some things and be like, girl, you've come a long way, or boy, look, dude, you've come a long way. Because that was a mess. Like, looked at some stuff like, I could not believe somebody paid me to do this. Like, whoa. Okay. So I have some of those. Okay. This is me all day. Yes. Okay. Yes, I can say that, especially in my rhinestone designs. All right. I have, but I'm very honest, letting them know I haven't done it before. Okay. Um, yes, I've looked at some of my shirts I've made in the beginning and I'm like, wow, I sold that. All right. Right. So in that, it was amazing to me to see a lot of people who I can tell were other creatives, and the lack of grace really was astonishing to me because some people were going in knowing that you've been there before. You obviously, we can look at this and tell that this is someone who is very, very, very new to this, right? Very new to this. We can look at that and say that and see that. So to see so many people attack it without constructive criticism, like there's a difference between just being very judgmental, and you don't have to like something where, but it comes from a constructive criticism, or it's at least offering up some sort of correction, right? Or a suggestion of, it, the lack of grace just kind of it within the community. Like when I saw other people doing it, just consumers, I'm like, okay, whoever, whatever. But when it was actual creative entrepreneurs, the lack of grace just kind of hit me in a different place, right? I come across so many people who are afraid to even attempt to do that many colors, to do that much layering. I so many people who purchase a machine because of what they've seen in a group, and they'll spend the money on it. They have piles of vinyl and paper and supplies and blanks, and there is this fear of even starting. So for me, as being Shakia the professor, I looked at it and I'm like, at least she started. Now she can actually work to make it better because she started. And this will probably be the best thing to ever happen to this person, because if they approach it the right way and they actually look into what they put out there, and if they have a desire to be better, to make sure that this never happens again. So I'm hoping that they will go and say, let me take a step back. Maybe I'm not ready to monetize this. I may have needed the money, but I'm not quite ready for this. And this can be one of the greatest moments for them, because it's going to change their mindset on what they're putting out now and whether or not they need to take a step back and actually get some more training. Okay. All right. So let's see. This is me. I can see my progression from the beginning. Yes, but not as far as selling them. I sucked big time. Yes, I have always had people kind of force me to do it. So it's like, it's y'all fault. It's I like that. I've been in that position too. We all have been a beginner, whether it's admitted or not. Yes, I've looked at some of the designs I made up early on, and look at my designs now. Big difference. I know, right? That's so true. I used to just buy stuff a long time ago just because someone else was doing it. Okay. Just joining, miss what we're talking about, but I'm listening while working. So I'll put it back up real quick. So this is a viral moment that is going around right now, where this person posted a side by side of what she requested and what she got from someone. And it's kind of making its rounds around the creative groups and craft groups, and it's just making its way around, because last I checked, it was at like 500 some shares, I think. And that was from the original post, not including the shares from when someone else posted and the shares from that. So it's making its rounds. All right. So I have talked about this quite often, right? And this is something where I'm very consistent in this message of practicing on something before you go and like monetize it and selling it, and knowing what it is that you are ready for. This is something like in this business, it is so important. It may have been that, like I said, she did maybe a single color shirt, because when you're reading through it, they say, like, some people ask, well, how did you find this person? Was it someone local? Did you find them online? Did you see their other work? So she's the person who did the post, said that one of her friends or someone that she knows has ordered from this individual before, and or she recommended her and said that, hey, she does great work. The shirts are good. Now, who's to say what those shirts were? Was it a single color? Was this her first time trying to do black shirts? What if she had only done white shirts before? What if she had only done single color designs? So now you're working with 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different colors. 9. I don't know if y'all know, when it comes to pressing, right? Pressing vinyl, and to press that many times when you're layering it. I see countless videos where people are layering and they are pressing each layer for the full dwell time. You are guaranteed to have burn marks and scorch marks because you are pressing this area at the full time, all like this many times, right? So you're bound to. So it's one, just not knowing how to properly layer because they've never done this before. That's why it's important to practice and not wait until you have an order. If layering and doing multiple colors is something that you desire to do, then you need to be making shirts for yourself, making shirts for your kids, making shirts for your family, making gifts where you are practicing it. Get a 4X, 5X shirt, and you're just going to keep practicing that. Put something, anyone who wants to do this, I have several of them, should have a shirt that is darn near covered in vinyl or sublimation or print and cut, something, and you are practicing on that same shirt over and over. I don't care if it starts to overlap, but you should have one of those, because an order should not be the first place or the first time that you are trying something new, where you are taking someone's money from it. You have to practice these things before you actually put a dollar amount to it. How many of you guys are guilty of not practicing something before you put a dollar amount to it, and thinking just because you are creative, you are a crafter, you can DIY, and it's like, I know I can do this, and you've taken on those orders and you've never done it before? How many of you guys are guilty of that? That first time, and you I've definitely been there. And the first shirts I ever did was a hot vest. I had to step back and practice before offering them for sale. All I saw was the money, and I can do that. Didn't purchase enough color of the vinyl that I needed to buy. Some shirts was too big. Didn't get them finished in time. Not the time I said I would. I felt horrible, and I apologized and gave the money back. Now that part right there, those last two, well, last line is where this goes wrong. And it is that she said that the person was not trying to refund her the money, even though she did not get any of the shirts. So, upon further investigation, the person sent her the shirts that she made. I guess she had made 3. And so when she sent her the pictures of it, Jillian was like, no, that's not what I ordered. That doesn't look anything like that. I'm okay. So I'm not sure if it was a time crunch frame to where she showed her this right before Easter. Because again, this post was made on the 8th, which was on Saturday. So I'm not sure if it's like, okay, these are supposed to be delivered to me for my kids to wear them on Sunday. One, it was 18 shirts. I was like, to know that it maybe for kids for something like an Easter celebration or egg hunt on Easter Day, because 18 shirts, I'm like, man, 18 shirts for this type of setup is a lot, right? So then we're taking on 18 shirts. If this is how you design and this was your recreation, I'm sorry, you were not ready for that. I know it sounds great to get a large order, but if you have not successfully done smaller orders of 1 or 2 shirts, maybe even 5 shirts, 18 is a really big undertaking, because prepping for 1 or 2 shirts compared to 18 is totally different. Making sure, like someone said, you have enough vinyl, that you have the extra shirts, that you have a process in place, like you've done this and like the steps that you're going to take to do each shirt. 18 is a lot for that many colors and having to do that many presses. 18 is a lot of shirts. For someone that's a beginner, I don't understand why people take on that many units of a product. But she didn't want to give her money back, right? And this comes down to not understanding the business side of it. A lot of people, and I mean a lot, I have inadvertently coached people through this part of it, where you see them post and them wanting to do this business almost becomes a bit of desperation, right? Well, I have to, I got to make this work because I have kids, I have bills, my rent has to be paid, I'm about to get evicted. And people will end up taking on these orders out of desperation and feeling like, okay, well, I have to make, like, as if having a business is going to answer it's going to be the solution to all of your financial problems. And that's not the case, because running a business, especially within the first couple of years, you are definitely going to lose more money than you are going to make, because you're trying to find your way. You're trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work. So you're going to end up spending money on some things. And you're going to realize, I don't really like this. This wasn't really for me. You can't go and, like, for a lot of this stuff, go and say, okay, well, this didn't work for me. Let me get a refund, because it's just not going to work, for a lot of stuff that we buy. So you're going to spend out a lot of money in those first couple of years. And with her not giving the money back, it was probably one of those situations where I took on this order because I really, really, really needed that money. And now the money's gone. The same way that people live paycheck to paycheck, people live order to order, because that is your pay, right? So it doesn't change just because you decide to kind of, be an entrepreneur. People can live order to order. So if as soon as she got that money, one, she had to buy the supplies for it, right? So 18 shirts. I think, well, on there it says $195 is what she paid for 18 shirts. So that is about $10.83, right? So we have to get the vinyl for it, and we have to get the shirts, even if the shirts were on sale. So you have to really think about the fact that they're probably, of course they're new. They don't have a resale certificate or resale, so they're not getting taxes off for this stuff. So by the time they went and paid for it, and let's just say, and that's whether, like, they may have had all of those vinyls. Let's say they had some of those colors, and I can't even say like how much vinyl they would. Let's just say they spent $5 per shirt between the vinyl and the shirt and the taxes. If they spent anywhere from $4 to $5, that already cuts it in half because of the shirts. Now, mind you, she only made 3, and it was a total of 18. Yes, you had to buy the shirts, but if they were someone that was basically living order to order, they saw like, okay, I don't have this to give back because I spent it on the shirts, the vinyl, or whatever. They may have only had half of, like, whatever they did not spend on the products. Now, that's not the customer's fault in any way, shape, or form. You need to figure out where to get that money from. And now the other shirts can potentially make you money. So it won't be a total loss if you, don't do this ish again. But you have to figure out a way to pay that money back. This comes back to one of the things that I talk about when it comes to taking money and having a separate account, and not thinking that when you're in business and you make a sale, that money instantly becomes yours, because you never know if something's going to happen, and you need to have some contingencies for refunds. You should always have some money in your business account. At least whatever your average order amount is, it should be that times at least 2 to 3 that you should have as a quote unquote like savings, or it's just a contingency fund, because you never know what's going to happen. These are things that when you want to get into business, you have to be prepared to have money in your business account. You have to have terms and conditions. So I would be okay. I've actually had to, go deal with that before, to where I had to do a refund, and it was a significant amount. So I end up offering them, to where we would pay them back in installments. Like I said, I have gone through that, and we, like I said, pay for it in installments. But you kind of have to have that in place. Starting a business is starting a business from what you craft is so much more than just making the items. There's a larger part of this on the back end of business, and being prepared for situations like this, because they are going to happen. People are going to request refunds. People are not going to be completely satisfied with what how you made it. The other part of it is, so many people talk about like mock-ups and stuff like that. You don't have to do this full-on professional type mock-up. But had she sent that design from her design screen to the customer before she purchased anything, before she even pressed the first shirt, I don't even think it's just the shirts and how they were made. The design does not match the original in any way, shape, or form. I mean, the way the ears are, the fact that she put the carrots upside down, the fact that there's a word missing in there, the fonts that were used. So it is important to send your customers a picture or something like, a screenshot once you've actually created a design, especially if it's not something that you have done yourself. Like, okay, they saw it on there. Hey, I want this same exact design. I just want this name. You already have the file. That is your listing. They know exactly how it's going to come out. So it's like, all right, I just want this one. Just change this name. You already have it. That's a little bit different. You may not have to send them a mock-up, because they're just saying, I want this one, just change the name. But if this is not your work, you best believe you better send them a mock-up so that they can approve that. Because why waste vinyl for a design that they simply do not like? Like, that's not what I requested. The eggs on here have detail to it. You gave me 3 solid eggs, and one of them that was just an outline. What the heck is this? The person, to me, to she was wrong. I really around that. She was wrong. She was dead wrong. Because it didn't look the same in any way, shape, or form. It just did not. It just didn't. Like, it just didn't. It's a whole part of it that was missing with like the whiskers, like that, that I'm still so when the post said, did she give me a drumstick and mermaid tail? I had to look at it and I was like, it do look like a drumstick. I don't even understand how she did the carrot backwards. I was like, oh my, I'm trying so out. But anywho, couple lessons is make sure you always send the customer a mock-up first, to make sure they approve the design. It may seem like a lot, like you are losing money, but if you're not familiar with layering vinyl, or you're not skilled to be able to do that, there are things like DTF prints, or just ordering it, outsourcing it until you are able to do this yourself. And it's still building up, you're building up a library or a catalog of things that you are able to do, but it is okay to get help until you're able to do it yourself. That's one lesson I want you guys taking this. 2, I couldn't tell if the person who made them put that picture up there and said, hey, who wants a shirt like this? I can make it. And then they gave that. Because if you're going, I know of someone who recently did that, and I was like, that's a big no-no. You cannot go and take a picture and say, who wants to place this order? I can make this, and it's not your picture, and you have not even attempted to do it. To know how long it takes, if you are able to, do you even have the fonts to make it look like this? Because you're going to, that's false advertisement. You've never done it before. So I suggested, I was like, okay, well, if you're going to use these pictures, one, make sure that you're putting on this post that this is not my work, but I can make you something similar. That's the first thing. Second thing is, don't wait until you get an order to make the design. Make sure that you've already gone through and you know which fonts you're going to use. You've purchased the grad cap, the skirt, the stole, the shirt, the keychain, the whatever, and you know the measurements of it, so that once you get, like, you do get an order, you are prepared. But y'all, please don't do that to where you, just because you think that you can do it, you take a picture and you're trying to use that to see if they're, generate buzz, see if people will really want it. And you don't even take the time to actually try out the design and make sure that you can do it. Find all the elements that you're prepared when it's time to actually produce the order. So I could not tell from there if it was a, hey, I want this, can you make it type situation. If it was the situation where, hey, I saw this, are you able to make it? Some people were saying, well, you should have known better. Like, that's what you get for being cheap. That's like $10 a shirt. That costs way more than this. I want y'all to know something. Customers don't know how much these shirts should cost. If this was their first time ever trying to get custom shirts, they don't know that $10 is low or cheap for that. I'm not going to say for the shirt that they requested, not the shirt that they got. Well, they tried to give them, but for the shirt that was requested, they don't know that, because a lot of the times you will go on sites. What's the new site? And I'm like, everybody and their mama is ordering from this, and it's the folk overseas, and they're making it, they're shipping it, and everything is coming super cheap. What is it? TEMU. I don't even want to say the name because, look, I ain't trying to give y'all no free promo, but I'm pretty sure y'all have seen it. It's a company, logo's orange, it begins with a T. Yeah, them. They're posting stuff, and it has a price tag of $10 or $8 or $9. So as a consumer, not knowing how those are made overseas, those are made in like however, they don't understand that when someone is making it themselves and they have to cut all this, they don't know what goes into it. We tend to think that because we know how to do it and we know that everything that goes into producing these products, that our customers know as well. Guess what? That is where your business comes in the fact that they don't know. They can't create it, because if they had all the machines, they knew how to do all this stuff, guess what? They would not need you. They will be doing it themselves. So when someone goes and not say, oh, whatever, that you get what you pay for it. How are they supposed to know? Because you can go on some of these sites where it's like overseas, people from overseas or someone who can mass produce things. They are showing shirts that are $9, $10. They don't understand, the difference in custom. So don't go and automatically assume that when a customer comes to you and you tell them your price or whatever, or they're looking for something inexpensive, or they want it for cheaper, that they are devaluing what you bring to the table, because they simply don't know. Your job as the business owner is to educate through being consistent with your pricing, educate through posting your prices on social media. You guys cause a lot of these issues because you will post things and it's like you got to go through a top secret clearing. You have to give up the promise, the leg of your firstborn. You got to give up a kidney just for someone to get the price from you. Okay, you made this, right? Which means somebody paid you for this. How much did they pay you for it? Can you just tell me the price? But a lot of times, some of you guys cannot tell someone the price because you haven't even taken the time to figure out the price. It's like you're waiting for an order to go and calculate things. You want to be in business, but you're not taking the steps to make your business successful by really looking at how much vinyl costs, like practicing stuff to see what the time frame is, what techniques can you do to make it better. You are supposed to be the industry expert in this, not your customer. They're coming to you to basically get a service, for you to provide a service. If we were more transparent with prices, it doesn't matter if one person charges this, somebody else charges that. And if it's like the exact same quality, I've talked about this before. You never know what someone's overhead is. You never know how they're procuring their supplies. Maybe you are charging yours a certain way and you feel like it's more expensive because you keep buying sheets of vinyl. Whereas someone like me, I might be like, okay, well, if I know I'm in a market where they're looking for discounts and they're looking for, I'm buying my vinyl by the roll. So per square inch or per square yard or per square foot, it's going to cost me less than it's costing the next person because you are going and buying sheets and you're paying more for that. I might be able to buy my shirts wholesale where I'm going to get them for $1 or $2 less than you because you are going into the store. And sometimes I'm getting mine $5 less because, again, you are going into the store and you're paying retail. You never know why someone's price is the way that it is. So we can't go and say that, someone's undercutting or they're trying to, they're going to learn because they're doing all this work, but if they're not getting paid for it, some people just don't know on the business side as well as the consumer side. So if you're going to be in this business, educate them through putting out quality work, as well as listing the price and not hiding the price all the time. Because if the only thing that they see are the prices that are posted by people who are from overseas, they're going to assume that this is what the going rate for this is. If we go and everything is just based off of, check Etsy. I'm trying to figure out, when did Etsy become the holy grail and it became the benchmark for how to price stuff? I don't get that, right? And some people on Etsy, they are not business minded. They are crafters who just want to offload what it is that they create. It was a handmade like site, and they are just crafters. So they're not thinking about all of the business stuff that goes into it. It's like, hey, I made this, and to them, a lot of people like the handmade stuff, whether I make money on it or not, like, hey, I enjoyed making it. That's the craft side of it. But if we as a culture, as a community, stop hiding behind or hiding the prices, customers will learn that custom made cost money. Okay. So I had to learn that. I send my price list to my customers up front. You send your price list to your customers up front. You send your price list to your customers. Why is it that it's not on your page? Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that things can be different price points, right? But you can do a starting at. So they already know, like out the gate, this is the minimum that you're going to pay for this type of shirt, this type of tumbler, this type of party favor, this type of balloon decor, this type of candle. Why is it that it has to be sent to them versus it being somewhere when as soon as they come in contact with you, they know what type of, like, what's the price point? There are some people who work at, I'll just say, it's always kind of the go-to thing, right? Like, let's say they work at McDonald's. They know that they cannot go onto a lot where there's Maybachs and there's Jaguars because they know they cannot afford that. So how is someone going to know if they can't afford your services, where as soon as they come in contact with you and someone refers them, they have to wait? Like, so it's like you're wasting their time as well because, oh, that's a little bit more than I was wanting to spend. Then you end up in your feelings like, oh, whatever. If you broke, just say, like, I can't stand that phrase. If you broke, just say that. That's a trigger one for me. That's very, very triggering for me. Let's see. Someone says I went and found the post. Let me go back. Oh wow, wait, I'm missing some stuff. Okay. Okay. When I first started, I told customers certain things I couldn't do, but they insisted. I made it. Wait, but they insisted. It made me better. Now I'm the GOAT from Baton Rouge. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, it's okay for you to kind of be pushed out of your comfort zone, but the fact that they knew, like, you're like, hey, I don't do this. Like, I don't know how to. So if they push you out of your comfort zone, they will kind of have an expectation of, okay, well, if it's not completely perfect, we insist on she do this. Like, she told us, like, as long as you're honest, like, it's nothing wrong with being honest that you just don't do something or you don't know how to do something. I'm guilty. It's usually for family or close friends. And after I have told them plenty of times that I've never done this before, but they say, I know you can do it. And normally, like I said, normally when that happens, they are okay with slight imperfections. There's no way I would have agreed to 18 shirts in the beginning. Exactly. I don't understand why people agreed. I've told y'all time and time again. Oh, I'm a beast at chip bags and party favors and this and the third. But what I will not do ever is take on an order for 24, 48, 56 chip bags and Capri Suns and who lies you tell. I'm not that girl to where I just don't have the full on team or like business where there's a lot of people like helping, and some people will kind of put that on their family. And for me, I was one where I did not really like to ask them for help. I would rather stay up all night long because I wanted this. They did not want this to where they're willing to give up their time, give up their weekend, like whatever free time that they have to work on something for like that I took on, knowing that it would be entirely too much. If that's the case and you want to take on this stuff, then you need to try and figure out how you're going to hire a team for your company. So me personally, even though I know how to do them, can do them with my eyes closed, I just don't have the capacity to do orders like that. And one, I'll probably get bored with looking at the same design over and over and over and just doing all that to it. I just don't have time for it. So my max is 15. You might be able to get 18 out of me, but you're going to get 15. I prefer for you to order a dozen. Like, let's keep it real. I prefer a dozen. But only reason why I kind of went up to like 18, maybe even 20 was because my kid had, my kids are in school, and like most times their classroom sizes were anywhere from 17 to 20 kids. But that's one thing that I'm making. What I will not be doing is making 24 chip bags, 24 Capri Suns, 24 Rice Krispie treats, Kit Kat, Star. Like, you want the entire ship and you want 24, 48 of all of them. No, thank you, people. And that's something I will not bend on. I will not. Nope. I know. And the design's going to be real nice. I know. Now, if you would like, you can pay for this design. I will gladly release these designs to you, and you can have somebody else make them who wants to make 48 of each of these. But over here at that time, it was Elite Prints and Creations. Now it's HSINK365 Prints and Designs. We will not. Not going to happen, Captain. I've done it. I've made it over. If it came out bad, I'd quicker give them the money back or not charge and give them the product if they still wanted it. This business is so unforgiving, especially in some of these pro groups, but they will teach a class on it and their skill set is not great either. Amen. And they teach and learn with the members. Exactly. They're learning while they're doing it. After a couple of, that's not what I wanted, everyone gets an email or text mock-up. You approve it, it's yours. Exactly. Now I do send an image for approval before I make it. OMG, my reputation is important to me. Never saw the original post, just a picture. The description is what got me. Your students are rolling on the floor. My students know better. I hope y'all know better. I thought it was a late April Fool's joke. Didn't think it was real. Hey, just say, let's see. They got me good. I ordered a backpack, purse, and baby, I gave it to my 2-year-old granddaughter. That's how small it was. Oh, wow. I had to learn that. I read that part. That's so true. Watch tutorials and cringe at the pronouncing of products and brand names. That's a whole other story. Shaking my head as they make mistakes that a true pro wouldn't make. Sucks that it's profitable as I work a 9 to 5. So I will say, even as a professional, as a pro, we can make mistakes. I've had plenty of times where I have been on live and things just kind of happen, but it's knowing that you made a mistake and you can identify and even be able to share with your audience the mistake that you made. That's the part that's important. Identifying it and being able to work through it or provide a correction, because I've made some mistakes. So being professional doesn't mean that you're always going to be perfect with it. Because a lot of my customers on my personal page and not on my business page, even though I ask them to follow me on my business page. So this is another thing, right? So I constantly make posts saying, why don't I see you guys posting about your business? Because you guys are, most people on Facebook, especially from this platform, that particular profile, since Facebook took away my actual personal one, on that particular profile, a lot of the people that I interact with are those who have found me through like some sort of teaching. You're in some type of group, I provided value, and you basically just send me a friend request or follow me or whatever, and I'm seeing your content. And I'm nosy, right? Because I am just that business strategist, and I want to be able to help. So I'll go and I'll comment on stuff and kind of either inbox and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, well, why are you posting this only in your stories? Your stories they disappear in 24 hours. Why is this not on your page? And I don't want to come off as salesy. If you are in business, you are in business. Not to say that your social media can't be about like socializing, but if a lot of your customers are coming from your inner circle and it's like the word of mouth for you locally, you need to be posting, whether you post it directly from your business page or you're posting it on your business page and you're taking that post and you are sharing it a bunch of times. It is okay to continue to share it and share it and share it because you are posting it on your personal page. And when they click on it, it's going to take them to the business page and hopefully they will end up following it. They have to, like for business pages, if you don't put on there that like you like defaulted to see first, Facebook isn't going to, if y'all don't know this, Facebook is not going to just send out your stuff from your business page because they want you to pay for advertising. But on your personal page, it is just engagement and stuff like that. So it would behoove you, one of my favorite words from the military, it would behoove you to post things regularly on your personal page unless you plan to give Facebook some coins to boost your post or run ads. They're not going to give you free publicity. People aren't really checking for your business pages. Those posts don't really come up like that regularly on someone's timeline. So just because you have a business page, please ensure that you are also posting it on your personal page and post it quite often. All right. All right. I'm at my hour. Dang it. It was so many other points I want to talk about. This is something. Dang, yeah. I definitely don't want to be on here forever. I don't want to turn into a 2-hour live because I got ish to do as well. So let's just kind of like just wrap this up in a nice little bow. If you are just jumping on, what we are talking about is the viral post that's going around. Here it is, where that was what they wanted versus what they got. You know, expectation versus reality. And the things that you can kind of take away from that if you are someone that's in business. There was just so many things with this. Yeah, the scorch marks. I immediately knew that this was because every single time she put a vinyl down, she was pressing it for the full dwell time. And at that point, you're just scorching the shirt. Like I said, we have white, we have the glitter green, you have the orange, you have the lime green, and then there's a yellow. I don't understand why you did two different colors there, but you have this little piece of lime green, and it may have been, hey, I have a little bit of vinyl, I'm gonna try and make it work. This may have been on some of the shirts, you got the whole one. On other ones, you got the outline. That way I can stretch it out and make it work from the same cut. So wait, let's go 1, 2. This is 3. The blue here is 4. The magenta is 5. The yellow is 6. This rose gold is 7. The lime green is 8. So if you don't know how to properly lay your vinyl, which a lot of major YouTube channels, major TikTokers, I cringe when they are pressing these layers for the full dwell time. No, we can't do that. You press it for a few seconds, take it off, press it. And then not knowing that when you are pressing this, if you use Teflon, it is going to continue like it just makes everything shinier. So having that on your excuse me, having that and you're constantly pressing that versus using butcher paper where it's paper and it's not going to create that shine. Learning proper techniques. That is, we can learn a lot. I mean, people can learn a lot from YouTube videos, but it's, you know, trying out different things or not hesitating to watch longer videos, and just trying out different methods because, man, when I see that's another one of my pet peeves. You know, why aren't you pressing this for 3 seconds? Or why are you still using a Teflon? Because you're going to make your shirt super, super shiny. And those marks are going to be even more prevalent. And then this, oh, wait a minute. I just realized something else. This was done with an iron. This was done with an iron. I was going to say an easy, at first I was about to say an easy press. but I just realized this was done with an iron. Reason why I say that one, and this wasn't with the heat press. Not sure if you guys can see, but there is a t-shirt form on the inside. So there's cardboard on the inside of this, which means they don't have a heat press to where it's the flat surface. So they were trying to keep it flat and with putting it on there. And now that I'm looking at this scorch mark, this is in the shape of an eye. Oh man, I just want to find this baby and I want to just give her a couple of lessons, a couple of sessions free of charge, because this is the crafter side of this, right? I see so many videos, and you can start with it. You can craft with an iron. You cannot sell product with an iron. One, it's the holes in it. You have to make sure that the steam is off. Or if you're going to do it, make sure it's not the same iron that you use as a steam iron. Certain things you can use an iron for, but you have to make sure that the steam is off on it and it is just straight. And then is it a coated plate? If it's not, then you're needing to use that protective barrier on it. But when people are just watching YouTube videos, oh yeah, I started my business, or this is how you make a shirt, and they're wording it as if they are a professional and they're just using an iron. Or even when I see someone using easy press and they put it down and they do this, it's called pressing for a reason. Ironing is one thing when you're moving it around. Pressing is something totally different. Oh my gosh. But anywho, remember that you guys are beginner. You at one point you were a beginner. Give some folks some grace. Even if it's, you try, like if you're able to inbox them, even though they may not see the post, somebody else might be looking at that post and they're looking at this post saying, this is why I don't want to do this. This is why I don't want to put myself out there. All people are going to do is just tear you down, and going through that. And there was just no silver lining. There was no light of hope or encouragement, or, I would say like playing devil's advocate, or playing, just not, that wouldn't be devil's advocate, but like angel advocate. Like, it's just, there was to me no grace in that. And I have to think about the fact that it's in groups and what that would make other people, how that would make those who are beginners feel. So where will it cause them to clam up and not want to pursue this because the world is cruel? That was the first thing that came to mind for me, is how many people did this discourage when they came across this? Yeah. So one, give your fellow creatives some grace. It's okay to not like everything. But as long as you can follow it up with some sort of, if you're going to point something out, follow it up with some type of suggestion or correction, a link to a video or something to help make them better, because they may not know any better. The second thing, don't take on things as far as like monetary wise and saying, hey, I can do this, if you have not practiced it. I talk about, this is something I preach about all the time, is don't wait until you have an order to try something out. Right now, you're not super, super busy. You have all the time in the world to practice and practice and practice your designing. Practice, cutting something out and pressing it. I don't care if you get the Dollar Tree version of it so that you can, again, practice. Using the Dollar Tree stuff might make your life even easier, because once you get to the good stuff, it's going to be easier to cut, easier to weed, easier to press, easier to transfer. So working with the cheap stuff is going to make you stronger and better, because you're going to have to do more work for it. Then when you get the good stuff, trust me, your life will be so much easier. But definitely practice, guys. Gotta practice your designing. If you have invested in classes, don't let that be money that you have just wasted. Dedicate one day. It's only going to make you better. Stop thinking that you don't have time for it because you have all these orders. Then maybe take a step back on the number of orders that you are taking on and allow yourself to actually hone in on your crafts and practice it and be better, so that you are not this person at some point where you are putting out something that is going to cause someone to kind of blast you on social media. Um, know your limitations. Be okay with whatever your limitations are, and know that it is not, you're not less than. It's not that you can't do something. It's just you just can't do it right now. That's just not your lane at that point. And if you desire for that to be a part of what you do, just work on it. But you got to identify your limitations. You have to be honest with your limitations so that you can actually make yourself better. I want to say to them. The next thing is, don't always assume that customers know what it takes to do what we do. Don't assume that they know that a shirt with 7 colors on it should be way more than $10. If you're in this business, you should be in this business to also educate, and not saying that you have to have posts or make videos where you're breaking all this down and kind of the, y'all don't know what it takes. You are educating them by putting out great content, great mock-ups, or, decent mock-ups, and you are putting what the price of these things are. Even if you go and start even putting how long it takes for this stuff, they can learn to appreciate it. So you can educate them just in your content, and just making it a billboard, custom shirt, 5 hours of work, whatever the price, like, you can create those regular advertising posts, and you can create those educational ones to where people won't assume that everything is the way that it's made overseas or made with some sort of machine, and that we all have these super, super expensive machines to where you click a button and it's done. And hey, you're just giving it to me. Educate your audience. And I forget the last point, but there we go. Because I'm at an hour and 15 minutes. I said I didn't want to go over an hour. Let's see. I had to step back from all those groups because they would have you posting your designs and then use them and watermark them like they did them. I wasted so much time and money. That's so wrong. That's why I'm not quick to post my work. I don't have the free time that most have to make and sell. It's no better than the companies overseas that steals and mass produce. And that's something they have the capabilities of doing it. And because a lot of crafters who don't really have a full business mindset they do not understand that it takes money to make money, and with that, and that part of it is doing actual advertisement, working your business where you can invest in products or invest in methods where you can produce them faster. You're going to constantly get that. Those who are able to do faster, because there is a demand for it, there's just no way around it. Like, they're going to do what they do. That's what I respect about your videos, because when you make a mistake, you talk about it and don't just keep going like it never happened. That's why, as a business, we keep extras on hand. I love that you said you would be willing to give them classes. We need more of that instead of bashing. I was wondering when he was going to notice those iron marks. Yeah, I actually did not. The score, I saw the other scorch marks, but I'm like, wait a minute, that actually is an iron. So, hey, Lamont, how are you? Hey. All right, but of course, I get on here and of course I want to educate, but at the same time, I do have a business. So here's the shameless plug of it all. If you don't want that to be you, and you want to learn how to actually utilize your design software to where you know what it takes to actually recreate these things, like that someone may send you as like a sample piece or inspiration piece, hop on and onto our website, shop.hsink365.com, and enroll in at least the 30-day training for Silhouette Studio. Don't worry that it is Silhouette Studio. All right. Silhouette Studio is actually a pretty decent graphic designing software where you can customize things. You can bring in images. You can remove the background. You can rotate them, change colors on them. You can type out text. You can curve text, which maybe she should have done. But you can do all of these things in Silhouette Studio. Your first introduction to designing doesn't have to be where you're going and jumping straight to Photoshop or straight to Illustrator or Affinity, thinking that because you have these commercialized or these professional programs that you're instantly going to become a professional. It is, I'm telling you, it's one of the best things ever to start at that level with Silhouette Studio. And with the way that I teach, how I teach, and the fact that I teach the why, not just the how. When you know the why, you can apply that to other software when you are designing. So our 30-day training not only breaks down the essential tools and functions, but it just breaks down like techniques. Doesn't matter which program you're in. Subtract will be subtract, and there are certain conditions where certain parts of it has to be to the front versus to the back. Same thing when it comes to cropping, when it comes to welding. What is that going to do? It's the same terminology. Like in Illustrator, it's called Unite. In CorelDRAW, I believe it's still called Weld. But you're going to come across these things in other software. You don't need a machine in order to use Silhouette Studio. You can go to the website, create an account, download the free version of the software, and you can get started with designing and being able to recreate the things that you see. That's a great way to practice before you get orders. You see something and say, hey, I want to try and recreate that. That picture that all of you guys like, the senior magazine, I never even actually gave that to the mom. I saw it, I created it. I even have one where what's like the teen one with all like the gossip ones. Oh God. I have one where it looks like those type magazines as well, like with the squares. And I tried to recreate that. I've never put it out there. It was just me testing to see if I could actually do it. Me testing the tool or just practicing with the tools. Everyone asks, how did I get so good with this? Because I practice even when I don't have an order. I see something, let me see if I can recreate this just for the hell of it. So my 30-day training will definitely set you on the path for that. And then when we have what's like 5 or 6 days where you really are seeing all of these tools come together in different designs, it is jam-packed. And right now it is discounted. It's $30 off at checkout. Now, if you're watching this, it's again April 10th. Now, if you might be watching this video a month from now, a couple weeks from now, that discount may not still be there. Price actually might be way higher than at the $83.65. But as of right now, if you're watching this live, you watch this over the next couple of days, you can get it for $53.65 at checkout. And then check out some of the other classes like Foundations of Designing. We are really going through understanding what it means to put a design together. It is so much more than, okay, well, we're going to bring this in here, we're going to put this here, and we're just going to click it and subtract it. Okay, but why do we do this? What does this do for the design? How do we know how to even set it up? Finding the shapes in it, finding your voice in it. That is what our Foundations of Designing program or training is based on. It is a bit of an investment because we have several weeks, and it's several weeks involved with the Foundations of Designing. But once we have that open up again, you can definitely join, or you can even still join now. You'll get the playbacks of it, but definitely look into the classes. Invest in yourself. If you can go out and buy a printer that's couple $100, $53 is a drop in the bucket. See if someone will sponsor it for you, because it's one of the best things that you can do for yourself in your business, and to actually understand the software that you want to use for your business. Also, don't forget to visit the website for our Honestly Speaking products. It is great for beginners because it takes away the guesswork of trying to remember, okay, was it this temperature, that temperature? It doesn't matter what the manufacturer says. I'm telling you guys, it's all about the paper that you're using, because no matter what any vendor says, where I've gotten anything from, 365, 30 seconds on my Hottronics, and even when I'm using the Easy Press and Even Pressure normally works. The most that you'll probably have to do, like you'll of course do some tests and learn your heat press, but it might be 370, 40 seconds. But you won't have, once you find that sweet spot, you won't have to switch it unless you're doing something like slates and ceramic tiles, but like metal, MDF, even like the laminate sheets, all fabric, like all of those different things, I press at the exact same temp. Oh, acrylic might be the only thing where I really take the temperature down as far as sublimation. So definitely check it out. We do have a sample pack, a small pack, like 20 sheets on there. You can try the paper out. And yeah, all that's over on shop.hsink365.com. Hope you guys, this video was informative for you guys. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. The professor at, well, if it's something about the core, it's a little bit longer, but info@365creativeacademy.com, or you can email the professor at hsink365.com, or just simply go to our website. The email is there as well. All right. Until next time, guys, have a great one. Peace.